The more resistance, the more growth. What this means is that whatever you want to do, any task you gotta do, the harder it is for you to do it. Not for somebody else, not for the average person. But how hard it is for you to do this thing, that's resistance. And the harder it is, the more resistance, the more character growth. Because you're really acting out of your original nature, out of who you currently are. And this is why it's crazy when a bunch of dudes, they say things like, yeah, I wanna go to the gym, yeah, I wanna get in shape. Yeah, I wanna dress a certain way, I wanna talk to more people, I wanna become the social guy. But it's just not me. I'm just not that person. I feel fake. I have imposter syndrome, which, by the way, is such an annoying term. I hate that term. Yeah, but anyways, they have imposter syndrome. Now here's what's interesting when people say this stuff, is they don't realize that that's normal, and you should expect that to happen. You should expect you to feel different. It should feel like you are forcing something, because you are forcing something. When you're lifting heavy weight and it's more weight than you normally have lifted, what are you doing? You're forcing that weight up. Is it coming off easy? No. And if it is, that means it's not weight that you haven't lifted before. That means it's not heavy fucking weight. That means there's not enough resistance. So understand, resistance is what grows you. Just like in the gym. What has more resistance grows more muscle. Time under tension, they say. It's actually crazy. There's so many correlations between the gym and real life. It's a beautiful way of explaining life, really. So, let me explain why resistance will grow you, because I guess you might be thinking, like, how? Like, that doesn't, like, I don't get it. Because I think we're all on board with the idea of what is resistance and how people complain about this. But how does it grow you? I'll tell you right now. When you are faced with resistance, which by nature, by definition, what that means is that there's a task at hand, there's a thing at hand, but you don't want to do it, and you have like a pull against it, like you want to go against it for some reason. Or here's what's interesting, it's not really you. You kind of think it's you, though. You think you don't want to do it. What if I told you, a nice reframe is that your weak, old identity doesn't want to do it. So it's not you that doesn't want to do it. It's your weak, old identity. It's who you used to be. It's who you don't want to be. It's that pussy, weak voice. You can't associate with that voice, okay? You gotta really disassociate with that voice. And if you look hard enough, there is this other voice. This voice that's like, hey, we can do it. And if you have really bad self-talk, that voice might be really quiet, very, very quiet. And you gotta start injecting the positive self-talk when doing these activities. So you go to the gym, you gotta literally tell yourself, like, let's go, we're doing this, awesome, that's great. I'm happy for myself, I'm proud of this. And if you gotta say it out loud, say it out loud. But really, to not get too deep into self-talk, because that's a whole different idea. Just to get back to the idea of resistance and how it grows you, is every time you do the thing, you are strengthening that positive voice. You're strengthening the not the bitch side of you. You're weakening the bitch side of you, actually. That's what's happening. You're starting to not believe that voice. You're starting not to think that's you. Because if you're not acting in alignment with the thought, now it's not you. Now it was just like this bullshit thought. Like, have you guys ever had a weird thought? You ever think of something really weird or negative or just weird? I think weird is a nice word for it. Random, weird. I know you guys have, we're not perfect. Our brains are capable of producing anything. it's almost like this simulation that it could just do anything. It's like this virtual reality where anything can come up. But my point with that is that when you have those weird thoughts and you just kind of brush them away, and what is that? Is that you? No, it's not you. It's just a fucking thought. Like, now that you didn't act on it, it doesn't have any significance. So my point here is that every time you act against the resistance and you push against it, you're weakening the bitch voice, you're strengthening your strong parts of who you are. And the more you do this, the more that voice becomes stronger and it carries on to other parts of your life. And that's what I would call discipline. Discipline is the ability to go against resistance. You're essentially just choosing the difficult route, understanding it's going to strengthen that strong part of you. And that's why you got to do it. So really, choose the resistance route. That's the one that's going to grow you. And a lot of guys ask me decisions, right? They're like, should I do this? Should I do that? When in doubt, choose the path with the most resistance. That's going to help you grow. And I say this a lot, but it's worth me saying more than once. Have a great day. Let's go.